Today's spooktacular, blood-curdling spot. Spot's having a look at the real Ghostbusters monsters, the Frankenstein monster. Spot's also joined by his crow, Socrates, who will be making appearances throughout the course of Spottober, as we have a look at the spooky spots lined up for 2016. Spot also wanted to go back and have a look at some retro toys, as I normally do when it comes to Spottober and spooky spots. I like to have a look at some current stuff, but I also like to jump into my vampire time machine and go back to some older lines. And in this case, I wanted to have a look at the real Ghostbusters, but not just any real Ghostbusters. No, fittingly enough, we're going to look at the monsters, the monster toys from Ghostbusters. The monster line consisted of 6 figures: the Dracula monster, Frankenstein's monster, the Quasimodo monster, the zombie monster, the Wolfman monster, and the mummy monster. I wanted to start also these series of reviews with Frankenstein's monster because it's, well, Frankenstein's one of my favorite monsters from the Universal Studios lineup. Frankenstein's mouth opens wide, I might also add, when arms raise up. The packaging, unfortunately, has seen some better days. It almost looks like Frankenstein has stomped all over this poor card. At any rate, on the back of the package, this is what dreams are made of right here. Old package artwork. I could sit here for hours, almost becoming a mummy myself, but looking through all this artwork, all the different pictures from the Ghostbusters line. One of my favorite lines growing up as a kid. I wish I still had a lot of these things. But here are the monsters up the top there, the screaming hero figures, which I guess could also have been a spooky spot as well. Haunted human figures. Really, like Ghostbusters as a whole, you can't do wrong when it comes to Halloween. Of course, this comes to us from the folks over at Kenner. 1984 or 1986, you'll want to set your time machine for. There's also a proof of purchase. It says, in the interest of better quality and value, we are constantly improving and updating our products. Consequently, pictures on this packaging may sometimes differ from the model enclosed. That's okay. Spot's going to take himself a terrifying break. Socrates will still be here. And when we come back, we're going to get a better look at the real Ghostbusters monsters. Specifically, the Frankenstein's monster. There's more heading your way, guys. Don't go anywhere. Stay tuned. Well, as Socrates burns a hole into the side of Frankenstein with his eyes, let's have a look at the figure itself. Now, the figure is pretty good. It does have some limited posability, as you would probably come to expect from older Kenner figures, but I think that in line it has some of the best draw to these figures as well. There's a certain child fun retroness to these that I love so much. The Frankenstein's monster is depicted here in green, sporting a rather interesting haircut. Got the mohawk there. Although he has party in the back. Party in the back and a mohawk on top. This guy is ready for job interviews. The bolts they have in favor of having them in the sides of the neck, as you would come to expect from Universal Monsters Frankenstein. They've opted instead to move them further up top. Again, to differentiate themselves from the original monster Frankenstein there. I love the very long arms. He's got a very broad torso. He doesn't have as much the platform boots as you would come to expect. But somehow he has stitched up suit. So maybe the suit was made up of several different deceased suits. Some suits may be so barbaric in their fashion sense that they were buried away, locked away forever, till Frankenstein dug them all up and said, you know what? Not only am I going to make a monster out of many different parts, gosh darn it, I'm going to make a suit out of many different old suits as well. And this is the end result. Although luckily he found all gray suits, so there was no issues with that. The face is good though. I like the face. It looks like somebody, and I can't quite put my finger on it. I'm sure it might come to me sooner or later. It kind of also looks like a fried green tomato. A fried green tomato with a mohawk. Now, to activate his gimmick or feature, what you will want to do is squeeze his legs together. Now, squeezing his legs together will bring his arms up and also open his mouth. The arms don't come out all that high, but you can also raise them a little bit higher by hand to get it even more exaggerated. He could be yawning really as well. The packaging indicates that you want to squeeze the legs, but truthfully, I find the better route is by just lifting his arms. Lifting his arms is where I think you get a better feel for his scary, screaming action. Or yawning. The face looks good. Again, you can kind of almost see how the back works. It almost reminds me of a Pez dispenser, which would be even cooler if they could have incorporated Pez candy. Cherry, I love cherry. But it does also remind me slightly of a Pez dispenser. They are limited, yes, posability-wise. I guess he does pose in his legs, too. Doesn't really have any posability in the head or the arms because, again, all of it is linked to this gimmick. But a fun little toy nonetheless. You may or may not have even had one of these as a kid. If you did, let me know down below. Today's spooky spot. Spot was having a look at the Kenner, a little bit older of a toy line. But we're looking at the real Ghostbusters Frankenstein monster. Stay tuned, guys. Spot's got more blood-curdling reviews lined up for you. Month of Spottober. I hope you stay tuned. Spot will have other videos as well, because we all got this going on in the main channel. So other videos will be heading your way. But stay tuned for those spooky spots. They'll peek in there from time to time. Just kind of like the monster creeping up behind you, knocking you on the corner and say, hello, excuse me for a second. You turn around. Stay tuned, guys. Like I said, more spooky spots are heading to you this month of Spottober. As always, thanks for watching. We'll see you next time. Right, Socrates? That's right. See you next time.